So I have these buyers, and the husband sent me the signatures, was all ready to go. And then the wife texts me that she wants to look at another property first. And I was like, well, I thought you guys were all in on this one. And so she's asking me to buy time. And I tell the sellers, the listing agent, that my buyers are still interested. They just need to talk it over, like buying time. But after a while, the listing agent is like, oh, are you going to send an offer? Are you going to send an offer? Like constantly throughout the day, right? And I'm like, oh, I feel bad because we're going to look at houses, but I can't tell her that, right? Or I shouldn't say that.
Yeah, I wouldn't say we're going to go look at other properties, but I would say, yeah, they're definitely interested. I'm just waiting for them to confirm the final details of the offer they want to submit. And then I think, asking if she has other offers in hand or when they're planning to review would be key.
She was telling me they didn't get any offers, and the day that they accepted one, I guess we just slept on it, literally slept on it. I'm like, we should move fast because they're gonna go with the offer they get. And that's what I don't know how to sound urgent without being pushy, like, because they've been kind of sleeping on the signatures for a while.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So like all the documents and forms are sent, and the husband signed everything. So I don't know. I think I did my best, and I'm trying not to take it personal.
Yeah, I don't think you can take it personal. You did your part. You provided the offer to them. You sent it over to them. And there's nothing wrong with going and seeing some other properties. If it's something that you think, gosh, they really like this house and they're going to be sad if they miss out on it, you can always have that conversation of, hey, we have a 7-day inspection contingency or a 10-day inspection contingency or a 14-day, whatever the inspection contingency is. So we can go ahead and submit this offer, and then we can go see this other property. Yeah. And then if they accept our offer, then, and you guys decide you want to move forward with another property, then we can always, cancel. That's not ideal, and that's not the goal, but I hate for you guys to miss out on a home that I know you guys both loved when you walked through it, or, whatever. So you can always talk to them about that route and let them know that, hey, like we've got a little bit of wiggle room. And if we get the offer to them today, like they may counter us, or they may, take a day to accept it rather than pushing it further out. And then if we go see this other property and you decide you're not interested and they haven't responded to our offer, we can always then withdraw the offer as well.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Because my buyers were kind of getting cold feet almost. Well, the husband was all in, but the wife was like, eh. So they also just weren't on the same page either.
Yes. They're getting closer though.
Yes. So the search continues. Oh, is there a nicer way of telling a listing agent that your buyers are getting cold feet, or you're just... Because she was very checking in.
I would not say, oh, they're getting cold feet, because then they're going to be hesitant to accept your offer when you do get it over to them. So I would just say, hey, they're just milling about. There was, they asked me to drop the offer. I've got it sent out for signatures. The husband signed. I'm just waiting for the wife to sign. Like, totally okay to do that.
Okay, that's what I said.
Like, I'm just waiting for the wife, or they've been really busy, and so they haven't had a chance to log in there and sign it yet, or whatever you want to say about that. But I wouldn't say, oh, they're kind of getting cold feet about it. Because then when you send that offer, you're like, I'm not accepting that offer. What if I'm gonna accept it, they're gonna walk away.
Right, doubt our confidence. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so I would just let them know. I would let her know as much as possible and let her know there's kind of a delay, and that you're just waiting for them to sign it, or kind of whatever that is on that side. And that way she knows. And you can always, circle back and be like, hey, I'm going to get this over to you as soon as possible. But in the meantime, if you get an offer before I get this over to you, can you please let me know? Right? So that hopefully, because it would have been in her best interest to disclose that she had another offer come in and they were getting ready to review it, because then you could have gone back to the boss and be like, hey, they got another offer, so we either need to get this offer submitted, or we need to tell her we're going to walk away. What do you guys want to do? That would have created some urgency without being the pushy one.
Okay.
Right? Now the other agent's the pushy one.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that's what I was going with. And my buyers are like, tell her to chill. I'm like, they need to sell this house.
So, and then sometimes having an experience like this, right, where they kind of delayed and then they missed out on it, sometimes that helps them on the next time to realize, okay, we need to make a decision a little bit faster on this one.
Yeah, that's what it's his birthday. It's the husband's birthday today too. And I had to deliver this news. So I'm like, well, I hope we move a little faster next time.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Loss spurs action. Any other questions? Who else has questions? I know y'all have questions. Good morning, Sam and Kate and Maciel and Carrie.
Morning.
Good morning. Morning.
Any other questions? Nobody has questions this morning? Somebody's in the chat. Oh. Melissa, Kate said that's beautiful art.
Oh, thank you. My daughter saw that we were on and she's all showing her artwork.
I missed it. Darn it.
That's funny. She was all, like, this is what she did. She went heck close too. She's like, oh, hold on, wait, that's the wrong side. She's all like this. Yeah. I made my kids do their, or I made my son, he likes directive draws. So for his Ghostbuster themed birthday, I told him, go do some. So that was sisters. So yeah, he's proud.
Nice. Melissa had a couple of questions about the Google Drive, and Kate also had a question about the Google Drive. And Kate, the easiest way, if you don't have access to the Google Drive, number one, it's going to be changing here shortly. So just a heads up on that. Number two, if you don't have access to it with the right email, if you'll just log into Gmail with your KW email and then click the link, it'll say you need to request access to this. If you request access, it usually sends me a notification and then I will approve your access to it. That's the easiest way to get access with a different email than what you've got currently. So if you want to have access with multiple emails, that is the best way to gain that access. If you need help with that, reach out to me and I will help you. I have transitioned a lot of the stuff over, or I've shared a lot of the helpful information over with the other folders. So I'll go through that one. I think Carrie, I don't know what platform Carrie is going to use to share documents and such with you all. However, there is a new PC email that was created. It's a KW email that she'll be utilizing. So that's kind of what I've shared. And I've needed to clean out the PC folder for a while now because there's a lot of obsolete information in there that just no longer applies. It's not pertinent. So I have shared it all with new one. So we can talk about some of these files and things, these tools that you guys have at your fingertips through the Google Drive, if you would like. That'd be helpful. Melissa, did you have questions about specific things?
Well, I'm trying to find it. I came across one Pacific. It was like a training with videos, but then the link wasn't working. So I was like, but now, of course, now that I'm trying to find it again through here, I'm not seeing it, but it might be one of the, I think it was one. Thought I had the screen open, but I guess it must have went away. Good for nothing here. Well, going through it, I did, well, actually, I don't think it was going through that. I think it was going through my Skyslope. I did have a question on the, is it the first, I don't even know how to say the abbreviation for that one.
Yes, okay.
That one, when is that one done?
Never. It's never done. No, I'm joking. All right. So we have in our car forms library, we have a FERPTA form. It's the disclosure of foreign non-resident status or something like that. I don't even know the name of it, but and it's part of the residential purchase agreement that the seller is supposed to provide that to the buyer, because in the state of California, for some reason, it's the buyer's responsibility to make sure that taxes are withheld from the seller if they don't qualify for like a capital gains exemption, right? Don't ask me why it's the buyer's responsibility. It should not be the buyer's responsibility. The buyer has no need to be in the seller's business. It should be the seller's responsibility to take care of their own business. But California has decided that that's how it rolls. So we have this form in our car library that could get filled out. It's one option to fill it out, where the seller answers the questions of, are you a legal US resident? Yes or no. Are you a California resident? Yes or no. Has the property been your primary residence for 2 of the last 5 years? And some other random questions that they answer, so that title knows whether or not they're supposed to withhold taxes from their proceeds or not. Okay. Now, for the most part on our transactions, we do not complete that FERPTA form. It has social security numbers and stuff on it that I just don't want from my buyer or my sellers, and I don't want my buyers having a hold of. That being said, title also has a form that the sellers sign at the close of escrow. It's a qualified substitute form. I don't even know what it's called. Let's look. Field trip. Share. All right, hold on. Oh, it's waiting for me. It's waiting for me. Okay, hold on. And we'll show you. Oops, I just shrunk you all. That's sad. All right. All right, so in your file down here by the bottom, somewhere, oh, seller's affidavit qualified substitute. So we usually get this from the close of escrow at the close of escrow. So what happens is we, the seller, the title company, generally speaking, gets this information from the seller at their signing, so they know what to do. And then they sign this FERPTA statement by qualified substitute Internal Revenue Code. And this is the form that describes, and there might be another one too, but it just lets them know whether they're supposed to withhold taxes or not. So the seller always fills this out, a form, and then supplies it to title company, so title knows what they're doing. At the close of escrow happens recording, right? We're on record. And then title company will email over to you your closing documents, which is a copy of like the final settlement statement, as well as usually your qualified substitute form. So that's usually where we get it from. If you wanted to be diligent, or if another agent pressured you, because they could, technically contractually, we're required to provide this information within the seller's documents, seller's required document period. So in your car forms library, 27 clicks later, don't worry, I'm not there yet. Almost.
Just so I don't forget, I want to circle back to what you just said on the document, like time frame, I think is what you just said. So
okay.
Just, yeah.
Come on, Zipforms. You can do it. I believe in you. All right, we're getting there. I don't know why it started going really slow all of a sudden. All right, so in your car forms library, under all forms, Just thinking hard. All right. We want to go QS. And then withholding. Okay, if you'll see too here on my list, there's like 4 options for the seller's affidavit. Just so you know, if you were going to do this individually, each seller has to fill out a separate one. So everybody gets their own form that they sign. So here is the seller's affidavit of non-foreign status, the FERPTA form. Here, oh, because these are all questions because I've got the buyer's transaction. So the seller would fill this out and send it over to the buyer. It would have the address. It would have the seller's name. If there's an exemption claimed, all this, they've actually updated this form as well so that they don't have the social security number on here anymore, which is nice on this one. Page 1, page 2. So they would disclose this information and sign it and send it over to the buyer. Just talks about it does have social security number. Unless 4B is checked, address, telephone number. It just says California, our seller agrees to provide escrow with necessary information. I actually like this new form. We probably should make sure that we start requiring this again from the sellers, or at least on our seller files, because they've updated it where it doesn't actually include this information. You can do a qualified substitute form. So there you go.
So not to single out your transaction, but like for your TC, normally this would not be signed. Was that because there was a social, like until the like closer to our closing or whatever, or what is like protocol?
Yeah, so generally how 90% of the transactions, I'm gonna say 99% of the transactions that run through KW Vaca Valley, we get this from the title company at the close of escrow, that copy of that qualified substitute form that says that, hey, the seller provided it to the title company. And you get that at close of escrow. It gets signed off usually when like the closing, the final settlement statement, the copies of the checks. And
so realistically, I mean, like you wouldn't need it. It could be done during like the documentation time, but it's not going to hurt anything not to get anything until it's that form. Now, could you just upload what came from escrow and not do this form at all?
Yeah, so I generally don't do this form. So if you look at that other file that I had pulled up, it's just that qualified substitute form from title. That's all we ever upload.
Got it. Okay, that's good to know that you can do it 2 forms. Because like I said, the only other transaction for our seller was done. And like I said, I never saw the social thing. But he handwritten it to, you know what I mean? Like that was done differently. So anyways, but that's cool to know that we can do either form.
Yeah, so you can just upload this qualified substitute form that says that, hey, the seller provided the information to the title company and we're good to go. Perfect.
Now, what if you, I mean, granted, I guess you're not closing if you don't have this documentation, right? So like there wouldn't be like, oh crap, now now I don't have this form and now I'm trying to search for this, like get this form, right? Like this will happen no matter what, right?
Yeah, and you could always email over the title ahead of time and just be like, hey, just for the record, at the close of escrow, I need to make sure I get a copy of the qualified substitute form or the FERPTA or the qualified substitute. And they'll be like, perfect, no problem. I'll send it over with your closing documents at the close of escrow. So it's just a reminder to them to make sure they get that. But all of the title companies in this area all make sure that they have that information from the seller before the close or at the close of escrow. It's usually when the seller goes to sign their documents, they verify the fact that this was, and the seller fills out a questionnaire at the beginning of the transaction that they submit over the title company. So title usually has all the information they need, or they've asked questions along the way. So at the close of escrow, the buyers or the sellers sign off on the FERPTA, and then they provide this qualified substitute form saying that the seller provided the information to them.
Got it. And if you go back to Skyslope, what category does that fall under? I can't remember. It's not close. Is it closing documents?
It's disclosure documentation.
So why wouldn't that be underneath closing documents then? Just for like that part.
Because technically it's listed on the disclosures that you're supposed to get from the seller.
Got
So
it. Okay.
technically, if I weren't going to provide this to you as a seller, I should provide either this form. Hold on, I gotta move you guys again. There we go. All right. Or there's actually a qualified substitute form in here that says that, hey, we're providing this information to Old Republic Title Company, the transfer's full names here. And then you would send this over and title would sign it. And then the buyers would acknowledge receipt of that. So,
got it.
So as a seller, okay, so again, Solano County, Greater Barrie service area, most agents don't provide the FERPTA or the qualified substitute. We just get it from the title company. But technically, as a general rule of thumb, we probably should be providing one or the other to the buyer's agent as part of the transaction during the disclosure period, because that's usually when it's actually due. But we all just kind of scoot over it and collect it from the title company because our title companies do all that for us.
Got it. Now, I'm sorry, if you go back to Skyslope, I'm just so I'm not peeing on the title is seller, it's like a slash, like, so since those are two forms, like, you know, like a lot, it'll say, or not a lot, there's some forms in here that will be like almost this or that type of deal. Like,
yes.
So is that the slash, is that this or that? Because it doesn't say FRIFTA or whatever the heck that one, it doesn't say all that. So that's why I'm like, what is this form?
Yeah, so it says seller's affidavit / qualified substitute.
Got it. Okay.
So it's the seller's affidavit of non-foreign status is the car form library one, or the qualified substitute saying that they're providing that information to title, which was that form that I showed you, was the qualified substitute form, but it's not a car form, it's the Old Republic version of that form, which is totally okay. So it's either one. If it was two separate forms, they would be listed as two separate line items, just for the record.
Got it. Okay, perfect. Thank you.
So, yep. There we go. Any other questions with regards to that? I know that was really clear and concise, and you guys are all totally on board now. We usually get it from title company. It falls under disclosure documentation. We usually get it at the close of escrow. About an hour after it records.
Nice. Okay.
Doesn't mean we should, and we may want to relook at that. I, as the broker, may want to relook at that. And but that's the way it's done currently. That's what the expectation is.
Well, it makes sense too. Like you said, if my client's social was on something, I wouldn't want to just freely just hand that over. So I'm totally with you, waiting till close to get the nice one that doesn't have all that on there.
Yeah, and I think most of the agents in the area kind of feel the same way, that it's a stupid disclosure to have to disclose that to the buyers to begin with. Like, even without a social security number, like, it doesn't make a difference to the transaction for the buyers, whether they're a non-foreign or foreign or primary or versus non-primary, or have to withhold taxes or not. And it's stupid that the buyer's in charge of that. And so the title company's kind of taken on that role. But so I think that's why everybody just lets title take care of it, and we just move on and ignore it. Like it doesn't exist.
That makes sense.
Doesn't mean it's okay, but that's how we do.
It's been working, so we're
It's been
doing
working. Okay. So yeah, there you go. Did you ever find that other form that you were talking about, the training one?
No, and it was just like an extra, it was just an extra, like, it was one of those drop downs. It was, or was it? I don't know. Oh, you know which one I did have a question on? That I think it's that top folder. Sorry, now that you're typing into the search bar, I just saw that. That one, the agent finances.
Yes.
When I went in, I was like, why? I don't know if you've covered that, like, since the last year I've been in. I mean, I guess so. The date, no, that would have been before I came. So maybe that looked interesting to me, and I wasn't sure how to
Yeah.
apply it.
So there should be a video on the new agent training spreadsheet that covers agent finances. That's where we would have talked about this, but the MREA, the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book, has a chart of accounts that they recommend as an agent that you utilize in order to keep your finances on par. And then that way, because they have a breakdown of percentages, like percentage you should be spending on lead gen and percentage on marketing and percentage on cost of sales and salaries and all of that stuff. They have it broken down in the MREA so that you can stay on point with becoming a millionaire real estate agent. So in line with that, this is the MREA chart of accounts that you can utilize. So if you use a program like QuickBooks for small business or something, it can't be like the free version or the normal, like you have to do the step up version, which there's like, it's like $15.50 a month or something like that, I think, on a monthly fee or something like that, around there. You can upload your own chart of accounts into there and then track your expenses and your income based on that chart of accounts. So that's what this spreadsheet is here. You can actually upload that into a QuickBooks type program or another program, or just create your own spreadsheet and track it that way. And that way you can group it by expense category into percentages, and then weigh it against the MREA book on what they recommend for income and expenses to make sure you're in line with what they recommend. And then it has instructions here for QuickBooks of how to upload it into your QuickBooks accounts and how to utilize that MREA chart of accounts.
Got it. So the spreadsheet below is the actual like form and stuff of like what will transfer into QuickBooks. Is that what you're saying?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Awesome.
So you'll see it's opening.
Oh, so wasn't there a tab there's at the bottom?
Yep.
Yeah, there we go. Okay. Thought that was.
So there's your chart of accounts, and this will upload into QuickBooks. So it breaks it down to like residential income, listing, sales, referral, leasing, right? So we break down exactly what our income is, commercial income. And some of these obviously aren't going to apply to you, but we just upload the whole thing. Commissions paid out, commissions to office, that would be like your splits, right? Royalties paid out, that would be to KWRI. Listing cost of sales, that would be something else that came off your demand. And a cost of sale generally wouldn't happen if you didn't have a transaction close. So like your transaction coordinator, generally you don't pay a transaction coordinator if the transaction doesn't close. So oftentimes that falls under a listing cost of sale. If it's like your signpost guy, that's not a cost of sale because you got to pay the signpost guy even if your listing doesn't sell, right? Photos, you got to pay the photographer regardless of whether it closes or not. So those would not be a cost of sale. And then it goes down to expenses. You got salaries, benefits, contract labor, advertising, print, direct mail, internet lead generation, under lead generation, occupancy. So if your office dues and fees, communication, right? Telephone, answering, internet, website creation. So it's got it all broken down. And then, like I said, when you go to the MREA, it's got it all by percentage of what should be in each category. So you can make sure you're staying in line with, staying on target to become that millionaire real estate agent.
Got it. So this one is like a solid number, and is it like if you plugged in that information, or is this for like each transaction you do that you would be plugging this part in? And
so this would go into your QuickBooks, and then this would become your chart of accounts. So then when you got a check for like commission, you would put your total gross commission into QuickBooks, and then you would break down your commission. You would so that the net matches what your net income was on that check. You would break it out with what was taken out to get paid to KW Vaca Valley, what was taken out for KWRI, what was taken out for like the productivity program. So that ultimately your net amount for that check matched your profit on that check matched what.
Oh, okay.
So
it looks like I need to figure out what the chart of accounts. I've not messed with QuickBooks to that degree, so
yeah,
that's probably why this is foreign.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Right.
So I might have to.
If you ever get an option to take agent financials again, I do recommend it because it usually dives further into this, how it's broken down and what's in each category. But yeah, we recommend that you don't just put in your check into your accounting software of what you're putting actually in the bank, but you put the gross commission and then whatever was paid out of that gross commission, so that we have a full tracking of everything that's in there. And your the amount paid out to like PC and to KWRI and to KW Vaca Valley doesn't count towards your 1099 income, but we still recommend that you put it into your software so that you're accurately tracking those costs of sales, and what you can keep track of then what you've paid KW Vaca Valley for towards your splits and all of that.
Got it. Like it.
Yeah, the transaction fee, just so you guys know, the transaction fee does count towards your 1099 income. So outside of whatever gets paid to KWRI and your split to KW Vaca Valley, everything else as part of your commission is part of your 1099 income and our write-off. So your transaction fee to KW Vaca Valley, that $150 amount. If you pay a transaction coordinator, anything else that gets paid out of comes out of your commission, it's still part of that gross numbers, part of your 1099 income. The only thing that doesn't count is that the splits to KWRI, PC, and KW Vaca Valley, your actual split, not your transaction fee. Good questions. Any other questions?
I have a question. I was wondering, I use Google for my email, and so I was wondering if anybody knows, is there a way where when you send information, it's like the confidential way to send it, or there's like a different way that would be more secure? I know I've used like other emails in the past that have that.
I do not know the answer to that question. I would say it's not the most secure way to send confidential information. So if you're sending like social security numbers or bank account information, that may not be the best route to send it. And I don't know. We could go into settings and see. Let's see. I feel like somewhere there's a way that you can enable like a password on your emails so that when you send them out, they would need a password to view them. And
yeah, because I think I've done that. I think I've done that before, where like if I'm gonna send something that was like a large file, it asks, like this is like a large file. Do you want to send it with a passcode, or whoever you're sending to gets to view it? But I was trying to look at the settings too, and I didn't see anything, but I'm not that tech savvy, so I could have easily missed it.
Advance. Let's hold on. Toggle to confidential mode. Oh, look it. So if you're in Gmail, the little briefcase with the little, or the lock with a little timer on it, clock, that allows you to do a passcode. They won't have the option to forward, copy, print, or download this email, expiration, and you can require a passcode. Is that helpful?
Yeah, I'm driving, so I took a screenshot of your last page, and then this one where you're like, oh, there's like a little, I think you said it was whatever you said about the little,
yeah.
I don't think you said dots, or you said a lock or something like that.
Yep, and this will be, and then the email expires as well. So yeah, so that would be one way to make something more confidential inside of Gmail.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, and your KW emails are all Gmail based emails, so you should be able to do that on your KW email or on a different one as well. So. Any additional questions?
I did find that form, and for some reason now it's working. So again, now that you're here, the links are working, and it was the training videos, the like Office or the,
Oh, it was a Google Doc.
yeah. That was the training videos.
I think all of these videos, I could be wrong, I think they all got moved over to the new agent training spreadsheet. Some of them are probably obsolete,
Got
but
it.
they might not be. Those are all from pre. So anyways, there could be some good, there could be some good stuff in there.
There's a gym in there somewhere.
Yeah, I'm sure there is. I'm sure there is. So there you go. That's the training videos document. It's not a spreadsheet, it's a document. So in case anybody else is like, where's that? It was in the PC Peeps folder. If you search training, there's new agent training, which has all the newer trainings on it. And then there's this training video one. So that one is still hiding in there. And there might be some good little tidbits. You never know.
Yes. No, I liked.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, just for others to look into, I did, as I was filtering through it yesterday, coming across, well, one, I like the 10-day open house one. That one I want to apply to. But I liked there was like, I know a lot was in the Ignite one, but like the 66 days to creating a habit, like just the sheets you can print out. What was the other one I printed out? Hold on.
So what Melissa's referring to while she's grabbing that is inside the Ignite toolkit. There's all sorts of bonus content that is covered during Ignite for the most part, but it's got all of the like 66-day challenge, your 411 template, your buyer lead sheet. Go ahead, Melissa, are you back?
Yeah, well, there was one, and I just like the idea that there was one in there that was like the open house, like checklist thing. And so for myself, because that's where I want to start spending, like making sure I'm doing, I like that, just kind of just more tips of things to be more successful. And then I'm a visual person, so it's probably why it made me giddy to find these in there. Then there was like, but this one I don't think was in the Ignite. I think it was just on your thing, the productivity coach monthly tracker, where it's like, you know, it's number of clients added a database, like just to be able to like visually see it across, you know, kind of keep yourself more accountable. And then because I'm trying to get better at social media, I know we talked about it before, but the social media like calendar like thing, just for tips of just an idea of things. So I was like, okay, so I printed out those just in front of face. But like I said, there was a lot of good things through as I was filtering through.
So yeah,
I recommend everybody do it.
So if you haven't dug into the PC Peeps folder yet, now would be a good time to do so, to dig in there to see all that content is in here. So the Ignite toolkit's in there for your guys' access. She had mentioned the 10-day open house blitz. So if you're doing open houses, this is a good one to look at and kind of follow along with. It gives you kind of the 10-day protocol for starting with Friday and ending with Sunday, right? So it goes like a week and a half of where, if you're doing open houses as part of your lead gen, a daily activity that you would do leading up to and following your open houses. So it's a good day. It's a good program to kind of follow. You could tweak it if you wanted to, but this is what they do, and that's what's working for them. Oops. She had mentioned inside that night toolkit that we were talking about, obviously that training video. And then what was the last one? Oh, the social media calendar. If you're like, gosh, I'd really like to step up my game on social media and I'm not sure what to post, then there's the social media calendar that just gives you a day by day, 30 days a month of content that you could post. And it's not the actual content, it's just like themes, right? So question of the day on the 2nd. So today is what is today? I don't know what the day is. The 8th. Quick tips, house related tips and tricks. Maybe get them from Pinterest, right? So that's what today's posting would be. Tomorrow would be like, hey, make your own blog post, contest, challenge, or games, right? Caption this and other games, so some fun things that way. Highlights would be on the 11th, tutorials, right? A how-to post, live videos or Pinterest, infographics part, right? So it just kind of goes through and gives you stuff you can post on a daily basis.
I think what I liked about it the most was because one of the things that obviously just trying to capitalize on command as much as I can. So be able to sit down and do those scheduled out posts, but I have not a freaking clue what to schedule out. So this is what I plan to utilize for that. So that way I don't have to really think, just freaking go and find the material.
Absolutely. Right. Utilizing command to automate your business, and it can automate your posts. So you go in there and throw all these posts into your scheduled calendar, and then it magically posts them for you each day.
Now, I had a question because of the doing the smart plans yesterday, and just I think it should be fine, but just kind of like, what's your opinion to it? I was thinking it because I have myself as a contact in my database, so I, making sure everything's working, whatnot. But I was thinking for like open house, because like, for instance, the days leading up to it and stuff, couldn't you create a smart plan for that? Like, so tasks go off, like, so like, oh, today is, if you're gonna have one, you go and you schedule it, like, I'm doing an open house next Saturday. Well, you know what I mean? Creating like a task where each day, because wouldn't it just pop up the same way like anything else?
That's a fabulous question. You know what you could do? Oh, I have an idea, Melissa. So you could create a smart plan and just assign it to yourself, but I have a better idea. So my better idea would be that you go into your opportunities and you create, under the first one, create an open house category, and then create a task list for the open house category, because I think those can have due dates and stuff on them as well. So if we go into opportunities.
I'm listening, I'm pulling a cake, hold on.
That's fine, I'm just waiting for it to load up. And you could even do it. So if you wanted to track your open houses separately, as far as creating kind of their own space and maybe a list, you could come down here to and put it under leases, because we don't really do leases. So you could utilize leases for open houses. So under cultivate, you could make like an open house category, or even like, days out or whatever. So you could move it along in there. I don't know. You could.
No, I like that. Because you can make it go all the way to close, so that's actually a really good idea, because you could just put 705 Elizabeth Road, then you could just start it all the way through, you know what I mean? So I like that idea better.
And you can even categorize, you could even name each lease like the date of the open house instead of the address.
Yeah. So
that you're following it along and tracking. I don't know. But anyways, I think this would be a good idea, because then you could assign those task lists inside of here to that. So as you move it through the stages, what like pre-marketing or open house day or post-marketing, you kind of know what you need to do with that open house. So that would be one idea, because then those tasks would show up on your list, rather than creating a smart plan and then like reassigning it to yourself and pulling it off. I don't know, because you can create new tasks, but you can't create a group of tasks. So that would be kind of nice to be able to open house checklist and be able to assign that. But going through the opportunities, you could do that, even if you just made it one column and just called it open houses, and then had it magically assign that task list to it.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great idea.
Yeah,
I'm glad I asked. I didn't even think about opportunities using that one.
yeah. I think I would try that.
Okay, yeah, I'll definitely try that.
That sounds like fun. It sounds like something that could be utilized to work for that instance, and then you can keep adding open houses to it.
Yeah, well, and like you were saying with the open houses, was that yesterday? Gosh, the week's flying. But with scheduling it like Saturday's open house, because it's going to fall differently of how you do things, so so I like to be able to, now thinking that way, like I said, I'm really trying to put everything on auto, because I have kids, so I need auto help. And I'm not making $1 billion, so I don't have an assistant, so I need to utilize as much as what I'm paying for already. So
yeah,
awesome, thank you.
I think that could work.
Hey, Amy,
Yes.
can I get access to your PC Peeps folder that you were speaking of earlier and had everyone going into and having
You
access?
can, and all the pertinent information has all been shared too with the PC Peeps email address as well. So everything's in there as well, but I can give you the other access.
Yeah, because I can't get in and see any of that stuff.
Yeah, well, so if you go into, well, we can talk about it tomorrow, but if you log into the PC Peeps, because this is the PC Peeps email, the PC, and then go to shared with me, it's all in there.
Yeah, I tried that and we'll talk about it tomorrow because
Okay.
I really can't get in.
Okay. Sounds good.
I just threw that link into the chat if Carrie wanted to click on it and request access like I
There
just
you go,
did.
Carrie.
That's amazing.
Look at that.
Teamwork.
Teamwork. Other questions?
Hey, Amy, random question.
Yes.
When you're in Berries and you're trying to get Rancho Solano,
Uh-huh.
Rancho Solano goes all the way, I'm looking at the map right now. So does it kind of go up to Oakland Hills Drive? It looks like is on the top. It's like, it's got several, I don't want to give them something that's kind of hillborn. So I'm trying to like, where's the line that it stops? It's not really a line. It's more like looks like a Mickey Mouse head, actually.
It's like a Mickey Mouse head.
Three circle, like three, like you're making a flower almost. I was like, I need to draw it. And I can't get it small enough on the screen to get it all in at once either. Otherwise I lose where I'm at. I think it's all right here.
So let's go interactive map. So now we're in Berries and we just went
I
to
just put
interactive map.
Buckport because I have a friend that lives there to find Rancho if you want to find it fast.
And then mine opens up to Vacaville, but Rancho Solano is down here. So most of Rancho Solano is over here.
You're right, like that
So,
max.
yeah, so I would just, yeah, this whole area, I would leave off that sanctuary because that's not part of Rancho Solano. That's the Solano foothills that that runs along the highway there.
Okay.
But yeah, all this other stuff, which is weird because like when I'm looking on my map, most of these streets are like kind of light gray versus white, and it's kind of this whole light gray area.
Okay, that's what I was thinking too. I was just trying to get it all in my screen because if you see how the top you're cut off up there.
Yes.
But when I try to go out a little bit more, it puts everything away and I'm like, oh
It
shoot,
does.
where am I? I'm like, so I'm trying to, I think it's okay.
Does, but if we went, hold on, let me move you guys around. Come to the side. There we go. All right. So if I can almost get it. So right here, this kind of gets it because it's really the Puda Creek Canal and then around.
You know what? Oh, I know. I have it on my MacBook. I need to move it to the big screen. That'll
There you
probably
go.
help me.
That'll help you. Blow up
That'll
your
help.
window.
If my window will even go.
So, and then just so everybody knows, if in case you were like, hey, I've got clients that are looking in the Rancho Solano and you're like, I want to set them up. So what she's probably doing now is going to draw. And then she's going to select this tool here, and then you can click and click and click
Mhm.
and pick up all those houses in the Rancho Solano neighborhood that now I can't see because your beautiful faces are hiding it. That's right. I can move you. Oh, I don't want this street here.
She said, I don't want that street there.
I went too
I was
low.
on mute, sorry.
There you go. So then if you did that, it's just going to single out those homes in the Rancho Solano neighborhood. Now, Berries does have a map that breaks it down by area, and Rancho Solano probably has an area on the Berries map. If you wanted to see what that map looks like, if you come over here Let's see, COVID-19 tour listing. Oh, it used to be there. Now they've taken it away, probably because it's really kind of obsolete because nobody uses it appropriately. It's sad. IDX website, listing, membership. Hold on, I'm just looking to find the little mappy. No, it hates us. We're going to search it. Area map. All right. And then we want Northern Solano area map. Northern Solano. We're going to wait patiently. So they do have areas. So you could probably attempt to sort it by the area. So here's all your areas. Oh, no, it doesn't. It's not a clear picture of just Rancho Solano. So it's got some Hillborn area in it anyways. But these aren't always accurate. So this goes back to it's only as accurate as the information. The information is only as accurate as the agent that inputs it into the system. And agents aren't very exact. And so these aren't always accurate. So I would not recommend sorting listings by their area. Especially we've got so many out of area agents now inputting listings in, or they're coming from Metro List. They're probably not accurate. So, excuse me. So doing it by the, I've lost my map completely. It's gone. Oh, it's over here. There we go. So doing it this way and drawing your map is going to give you a better accurate picture of the listings in that area, because then it's not dependent on what somebody inputted in. It's where they actually like put the address of the property. And in case you've noticed and you're getting random listings, if you go into search criteria, there's an option somewhere where you can select unmapped listings. So some people, they hide the address and it doesn't map it on the map appropriately. Those properties may not show up on this map search. However, if you check the unmapped listings box, which I can't, well, right here, include unmapped listings. If we turn this on, it's not going to show them on the map, but when you go to display, if you change it to the one line grid, then we went from 2 listings to 4 listings. And you're like, where'd those other 4 listings come from? Well, it's outside of California or outside of the area. We've got one in Mountain House and one completely outside of California that are unmapped listings that the Berries has access to right now. So those magically appear. So that's what happens if you leave that setting on as far as unmapped listings. So I don't recommend it. You'll get frustrated after about a week of trying to do searches and these random properties popping up on your maps. So I usually leave that off.
Amy, real quick, how do
Yes.
you, now that I have that, how do I add that to my people?
Oh yeah. So once we have this, this area designated that we want to add, then you come up here to prospecting. You're here along the top black border, and you can add listings to a prospect's cart, save as a new prospect. So if we just want to add the listings to the cart, it would be the first one. If we wanted to save as a new prospect, so we wanted to set this search up as a new potential buyer, we could do it that way. Or if there's an existing prospect in your system, you could come down here and select that existing prospect. I'm gonna hit Amy. It's going to add this whole search. You're going to hit add. Then it's going to prompt you to name it.
That will make them have a second search because I already have them on another one for the area, right?
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Solano's home. And then we're going to hit submit. And then update. Now it's going to magically appear. Now, if I go back to this contact and I scroll to the bottom where the searches are, wherever they are, oh, right here. Now, that search appears as one of my searches. So prospecting and then add search to prospect or create new prospect.
Okay, it took me back to standard search after I clicked named it. Is that where it just took you? I don't want to get out of here now. I'll have to do it again. Oh, well, I'll just go there. I'll just go there and look.
It should be if you just kept going.
Okay, let me. What the heck? Operator error, I guess. Jeez. Oh, there he is. Okay, so I'm like, where did he go? No, it only saved the, dang it, it didn't save it. Okay.
Did you just save well, it prompted you to save the search.
Yeah, to save it as the person. So I did, and I added it to him, and then it didn't save. I'll do it again.
All right, so let's look. There was several different, you like had to hit save like 20 times. So we went to prospecting and then add to existing prospect.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see if I'm in here. I'm like in here 20 times. So we'll save it as a new prospect here. And then you're going to click. So I selected the prospect, hit add, which you got to, because then it prompted you to save.
Oh,
It should say
for client. Why is he under client?
Oh, so because that's probably how you added them. So I add all of my people and berries to all the groups.
Prospect. Yeah, that's what you told us.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe let me try that. I'm like, wait, he wasn't there originally. Sorry.
You're okay.
Okay, so go back to interactive search. Go back to my butler because that's the people I
You can here, wait, pause. Go to your home of berries.
Okay.
Okay. And then somewhere on your home, when you're looking, you should have recent searches. You should have a box that says your recent searches on it.
Okay.
You see that box?
Yep. It says view criteria.
You probably don't just hit the last one that said like map search.
Okay.
That would have been, you may have two because you just opened it up.
Search word.
What?
Click the word map search on the
Yep.
last one.
Yep. So just so you guys know, if you ever close out, you can always go back to your recent searches and pull it open that way. So you don't have to redo the whole thing. So then that one pop up.
Yes, the whole Southern California. Do you see it?
No, I can't see it.
Oh, you can't?
No, it's you've got the bright light behind your screen, so it's just glaring.
Oh.
It looks like a dark blob. Okay, so now go back. Okay, so go back to your home dashboard again.
I don't know what that did, huh?
And go back to recent searches.
Mm-hmm.
And was there one below that map search
Yeah.
that said map search?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, select that one.
5 minutes before that one.
Yeah.
Click on that one. What the what? No, it's literally from Sonoma all the way to Napa to Mancus Corner to Sears Point. It's like got like hundreds of dots.
All right, you're gonna have to start all over. I don't know why it didn't. Usually it pulls up the previous search.
Yeah, that's weird. View criteria. I don't know. Anyways, okay, I'll just start. Yeah, I've done that before, but sometimes that doesn't work on mine. Okay, start over, no worries. We'll get it right. They'll probably get 700 emails and want to kill me. Fire me. Oh my gosh.
While Heather's working on that, anybody else have other questions?
I do.
Yeah, Carrie.
Are you requiring FERPTA for mobile homes?
Am I requiring FERPTA for mobile homes? I would have to look at our mobile home checklist, and it would depend on whether they're on a rented lot or whether they're not on land.
Okay, because title is not requiring it and not doing it. So
Yeah, it's not real. If it's on rented land, it's not real property, and so it should not be required. If it's on the land, if you're owning the land, it would be required.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yep, absolutely. So you can just put a little note in there that you ran it by me.
Yep.
Any other questions?